angle. Adrenaline! Why am I so scared, dude?
In this moment, Jamie Foy is experiencing what we call fear. Today, we're going to take a deep dive into how pro skaters approach this emotion and how they overcome it in their skateboarding. Fear is here. Always. I think that there's a misconception when it comes to pro skateboarding or any extreme sport for that matter, that the ones performing these huge feats simply have no fear. This isn't the case though. These pros are human and fear is an emotion that is programmed to keep us alive. The first way they overcome this fear is mindset. When you hear these pros talk about the tricks they do, and we'll watch a clip about Jamie talking about this fakie 5-0, they always talk about tying their mindset to something. Jamie will talk about how he's not leaving Hollywood 16 until he does the trick. And them tying themselves to that mindset is what allows them to get the guts to try the trick.
I kept jumping off my board right before the rail. I run and I jump at the rail and I just like scream as to the top of my lungs. It in my mind felt like I wasn't gonna be able to do it. And then I'm just like standing at the top, like I'm not walking down there. Like, you know,
Right.
like
Yeah.
I'm gonna jump. If I don't pop my tail, I'm just jumping my body down the stairs because I'm not walking down these stairs. Like
Right.
I don't deserve that.
So you can see in the clip that fear is with Jamie the whole time he's trying this. It never really goes away, even to the point that after he does the fakie 5-0, he sits down with his homies and he says, I really didn't believe that I could do that.
Bro, I didn't think I was gonna try it. I was so scared.
So we can see that Jamie's mindset and attaching it to something in that present allowed him to start attempting that trick. But what really got him to overcome his fear and throw himself down those stairs? We don't remove fear. We override it. There are a few emotions that I believe override fear, those being love, trust, and curiosity. In this example, Jamie Foy used love to overcome his fear of attempting the 5-0.
We got all my friends there. That's kind of like, I like having a good crew there just because of like the support system you have. Like rolling up, I'm like, I'm scared. I don't think I can do it. But then I have all these people around me, all my friends, shouting the things that like you need to hear. And I'll just be at the top. I'm like, all right, I gotta try it 100% right here. For all my homies that came out, like everyone's here to help me get this. And once we get this clip, like it's just gonna be the best celebration.
If you skateboard, there's a chance you've said, I got your back, or get my back. In that moment, we are instilling confidence in ourselves and the homies by sharing the weight of the fear we feel when trying a trick. Another great example of this is none other than Jake Phelps.
The second time, I felt like I was there alone. So Felpro basically told me, maybe you can go home broken or maybe you can go home celebrating. And I was like, that sounds like a good way to end the year.
Jake Phelps, for many pro skaters, represents the ideals and the idea of even being a skater in the first place, embodied in a human. So even after he passed, there's a great clip of Milton Martinez skating the car wash. In the clip, he talks about how he has to land the trick just because Jake Phelps' name is on the car wash.
I gotta get out there now. Like, I guess I was like just thinking about Phelps and just go for it. You know, like.
So we've established that fear is always with us, and there are certain emotions that will override the feeling of fear. But how do we really start trying the trick? How do we approach it? To climb the mountain, we must take the first step. Take yourself back to when you were first learning an ollie, one of the most basic tricks in skateboarding. If you're a mere mortal like any of us, you probably started on grass and incrementally moved up until you could finally do one rolling. This is the same exact thing the pros do at the highest level. For this example, we're going to be taking a look at Yuto Horigome and his switch front tail attempt. Before we get into it, I did want to note that this was super interesting right here. You can see him trying to get fake grind marks on the back tail of his board. Such a poser. Anyway, let's get into the example. In this video, Yuto goes through all of the previous things that we have discussed in this video pertaining to fear. He displays the same exact emotion Jamie Foy did at the beginning of this video. If you listen closely, he says, dude, right here, which is another variation of, I got your back, you got my back. And he even says out loud, it's scary. Throughout this video, we can see him working himself up to the full trick. And this is a seasoned skater, so this just goes to show no matter how good you get in skateboarding, you always can fall back on these methods. It doesn't mean that because you are pro or because you're the best in the world, literally he won a gold medal, he still has to do these tactics to skate against his limit. He's also doing one more thing that was like a revelation to me when I figured it out, and it helped me progress super fast in my skateboarding. He's relying on his passive skills. Well, what are passive skills in skateboarding, you may ask? Passive skills, in the simplest terms I can explain it, are skills that you don't have to actively think about when you skateboard. The most important of these being your balance, your ability to catch yourself and to fall correctly. All through Yuto's life, and even your life, while you've been doing these obstacles and slowly, incrementally getting better, your passive skills of bailing got better as well. And if you keep this in the back of your mind and you trust yourself that your passive skills have gotten enough to where you can rely on it and say, hey, I can get myself out of a bad situation, even if I'm skating at my limit, you can use that to combat your fear, because even if you fail, you still got yourself.